Hello fellow Helldivers, Thornton here, and a big question on everyone's mind is when are some of the big bosses coming in from Helldivers 1, and what can we be expecting when they do drop? We're going to go over all of that today, but without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. There's actually something that I was looking through in the game files, and there's some subtitles. A lot of these aren't exactly surprising, but the very bottom one has me pretty interested and thinks that it might line up. It says, all three factions surge towards Super Earth in sudden synchronicity. Do Freedom's enemies now act? So it does look like they will be coming through that black hole, but along with that, the Terminids and the automatons are going to be aiding them and all attack us at once. This leads me to think that the President's Holotable, which is going to be a mission defense objective on Super Earth itself, will come into play very soon in the future, probably after we elect the president, or maybe we actually fail this, the president gets killed, and then that's when we elect one of the three new ones we've talked about on this channel before. Along with that, something that I would love to see come with is Iron Shites did let us know that there are adaptive textures that can be applied to most armor. It works very similar to the weapon skin system. There's forest, desert, arctic, and Venus, so there are a bunch of new weapon skins and armor skins that we can be looking forward to, and maybe this will come along with the clan system, which we've talked about forever. But the thing that I'm most excited about is probably bosses from the first game finally making their way over. There were three unique ones in each faction, and I think honestly the one on the left is the one we see the first, which is going to be the Hive Lord. We've seen these actually in game, the Hive Lord husks, all over the map. They are giant behemoths that will absolutely test our skill as Helldivers and give us a challenge more than anything else, which is something I think we need right now. Level 10 difficulty has been here for a while, and there just hasn't been something to really challenge the Helldivers' might and superiority after we received all those recent buffs and nerfs. So to go ahead and add in some new enemy faction boss types, I think is definitely going to be the move and would be something very cool to see. One big question though would be, how exactly are we going to fight the boss battles? Are we going to have larger squads? And well, developers have kind of already answered that. And that is 5-player squads. More teamwork, right? More firepower and more accidental friendly fire. I could only imagine 5 portable hell bombs all going off. That would have actually been pretty fun. Well, it turns out the devs thought it sounded a little too great. They said, with 5 players, the entire tactical balance of the game fell apart. Imagine having a full squad where one guy's only job is to constantly spam orbital strikes while the rest of the team dodges for dear life. Even worse, 5 players meant every stratagem could be covered, removing all those tough do we bring ammo or airstrike decisions. Basically, it turned Helldivers into a walking arsenal of democracy, and let's be honest, way too overpowered. So Arrowhead decided to scrap it, but could it return? Maybe as a special mode, Super Earth's Most Wanted, where we get a fit squad mate, but he's a complete liability. I'd honestly play that, and there has been talk about raid battles, and also that at some point they are going to be bringing in raid bosses like the Hive Lord and stuff like that, and so having more players in your squad could actually be pretty useful. The other interesting one they talked about is, well, low gravity planets. Imagine bouncing around like a majestic space marine dodging incoming fire like some kind of intergalactic ballerina, or, well, you know, Master Chief. It sounds amazing until you realize how quickly it would turn into this total disaster. They said, first, jetpacks would have to be completely reworked. Second, enemy AI would have to learn how to fight in floaty chaos. And third, let's be real, every single Helldiver, including you, would immediately try to launch themselves into orbit just to see what happens. We already do that anyways. It's not a question of if, it's a question of how high can I go before the game engine gives up. So yeah, low gravity battles got the boot, but if the devs ever decide to bring it back, I fully expect a Lost in Space achievement for every Helldiver that manages to eject themselves into the void, and maybe even do some falling emotes. Now, the most interesting one I found is something that actually might not be scrapped at all, just reworked completely different. They did talk about helmets. Originally, helmets were supposed to have actual gameplay effects. Maybe some gave extra armor, some help you see better, and my personal request, one that makes you immune to friendly fire. Please stop killing me in the game. You know, for all those oops, wrong button moments. But it turns out that adding helmet perks would have meant even more balancing problems. Plus, the devs had to actually finish the game at some point. You know, Sony wanted to see something. So instead of being tactical advantages, helmets are just, well, right now, fashion statements. Will this feature ever return though? Maybe, but until then, you just gotta pretend your helmet makes you better at the game. It's all about confidence, just ask Master Chief like I said earlier. That being said, we do know that there are armor stuff actually being worked on in the files for customization, and also recolors and more. And there's actually one that got cut, but then reinstated, and that's actually falling emotes. Because nothing says I regret all my life choices like giving a thumbs up while plummeting to your inevitable doom. At some point last year, some of you might remember that devs removed the ability to emote mid-air, which did actually allow you to survive some pretty crazy falls. but recently they did actually go ahead and bring it back. So now you can salute, cheer, or wave goodbye as you descend into the bug-infested hellscape. Completely useless, absolutely, but also probably the most important feature of the game. And there were some data mined emotes like the hip thrusting one, and I honestly want to see a Helldiver flying through the sky while doing a hip thrust. I really want to see it. Now, the big question is, could these features actually come back? 5-player squads, low gravity planets, helmets with actual perks? Maybe, and probably not. But the beauty of Helldivers 2 is that it's constantly evolving. If the devs see enough demand, and by demand I mean relentless spamming on forums, anything is possible. We saw that with the giant nerf fiasco, where they went ahead and listened to the community feedback and brought them back and buffed everything because that's what players wanted to enjoy. But until then, we're just gonna have to keep spreading democracy the old-fashioned way with 4 players, a whole lot of explosions, and a complete disregard for friendly fire. Please stop killing me in game. So if you like this breakdown of Helldivers 2 lost content, hit that button, subscribe for more deep dives, and remember, freedom never sleeps, but neither do the bugs. And all that being said, we're gonna jump into community clips now. Don't forget to submit your own to me at Smash on Twitter. Without further ado, let's roll it.
Request approved. Reinforcements have been launched.
Reporting to the front.
Allied destroyer joining squadron, deploying Helldiver to combat zone. Requesting advanced weaponry! Calling in orbital strike.
Have a taste of democracy! Last reload. That's empty.
Calling down a sentry. Heavy, southwest. Last reload. Fire in the hole! Reloading!
Let me know down below, what are your guys' thoughts on boss battles coming to Helldivers? Do you think it would be a good addition, or do you know you just like the normal foes? Also, don't forget to check out this video right here, where I cover more news on Helldivers 2 on the daily. And until next time, everyone, thanks for stopping by. Keep spreading managed democracy.